EDU 503 Sports Law. This week I chose to do case study 8.3, Franklin versus Gwinnett County Public Schools, found on page 270 of the case study book. Case facts in this case, Christina Franklin was a student at North Gwinnett High School in Gwinnett County, Georgia. She filed a complaint of sexual harassment that began during her sophomore year of high school. She was being sexually harassed by Andrew Hill, which was a sports coach and teacher at the high school. Christine brought the complaint to the school's teachers and administration. The school was aware of the situation and started to investigate Hill's sexual harassment of Christina and some other female students. The school did nothing to stop. After their investigation, did nothing really to stop Mr. Hill's sexual harassments, and discouraged Christina actually from pressing charges against Mr. Hill. Mr. Hill then ended up resigning on April 14th, 1988, with the conditions that all pending investigations would be dropped. So the high school then dropped their investigation of the sexual harassment complaints against Andrew Hill. So then Ms. Franklin then decided to take the matters to the courts and filed the complaint on December 29th, 1988 to collect monetary damages under Title IX. So in this case, the plaintiff is Christina Franklin, and her argument in this case was Franklin was subject to continuous sexual harassment beginning in her sophomore year of high school. She's also arguing that the school district did nothing to stop the harassment and did nothing to the alleged teacher in this case. She took them to court again to collect monetary damages under Title IX. The defendant in this case would be Gwinnett County Public Schools. The defendant's arguments were very limited, but their main argument was that Andrew Hill was no longer an employee of the school district when the case was filed. So throughout the court, again, she filed the complaint on December 29th, 1988 to the United States District Court of the Northern District of Georgia. The district court, after the trial went through, dismissed the complaint because Title IX does not allow the award of damages. At this point, Franklin decided to take the case to the Court of Appeals, and the Court of Appeals again confirmed the district court's ruling, with both courts pretty much saying that in this case, Title IX does not allow the action to pay monetary damages for alleged intentional violation. So both courts were ruled the same, that in Title IX, that the only thing that Title IX can pay back is back pay, and back pay, and obviously back pay and prospective relief in these situations up to this point. So the case ended up actually going into the Supreme Court. The court then looked at multiple different cases throughout the history of similar situations, similar Title IX lawsuits between people and school districts, and ended up coming up with the ruling that kind of changed somewhat the rulings of Title IX cases that have made it to courts nowadays. So this court actually, this case actually became the first Title IX case that awarded monetary damages, because the Supreme Court actually overruled both the district and appeals court, saying that they could, in fact, reward monetary damages to this case. So kind of this is kind of the case that it's set bar for future cases after this case in the late 80s. So implications as an AD. When I look at this case, I look at what we can learn as an athletic director. To me, one of the most important things is making sure that we understand that the safety and well-being of all of our students and employees should be our number one concern, and nobody should have to go through a learning environment or a workplace environment where sexual harassment is in the environment. So I think as an athletic administration, we need to make sure that we kind of have more of an open door policy where, whether it's guidance counselors for the students, allows them more access to them, to maybe even stop this earlier in the in the situations before they get too in depth or too far. And same for coaches and employees, teachers and other staff. I think again it's more important that our administration would be there for our faculty and staff, and make sure that again we are aware of situations and we can investigate those situations. One of the things that I think for that, another thing would be is to better train our students and staff and faculty on sexual harassment. At the beginning of each year, maybe set forth a time where we can meet as a whole school and kind of have sexual harassment training, so we can become more aware of what it looks like, the damages it can cause, things such like that, and we can kind of again be proactive to help stop it from happening, because this is definitely an issue that continues to grow in our society, and I think we need to take a step forward and try to get ahead of that with the training of sexual harassment and other issues of race and plain favoritism, stuff like that. But sexual harassment is a big one. But in this case, I think as an athletic director too is we need to understand that we should investigate this quickly and very importantly, to end these matters and figure out what's best to again make sure both all parties that are involved, that we are looking out for their safety and well-being, and make the situation safe. So that's case study 8.3. So thank you.